Hi everyone, how are you all? If you're new to my channel, my name's Nicole and my channel is called Disney Mum Magic. So if you've just come across this video, welcome. I don't know why, but I feel really nervous doing this video. I think it's because sometimes I don't have a clue what I'm talking about, as in I can't put the sentence correctly and I just make up words. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting video. But I've been meaning to come on here and do this video for a long time now, but as most of you know, and I would have thought most of you are parents that are watching this video, it's really hard to find time when you've got a toddler and a child. So Albie's away for a few days, so I've got some time to finally get this video together. So yeah, welcome to this video. It is all about toddler tips predominantly for Disneyland Paris, because I haven't actually taken Albie to Walt Disney World yet, but some of them can be used. Some of them are kind of generic, so you can just use them all over the parks. And yeah, I've got my phone here. I've got some notes on my phone to help me out if I get a bit lost. But yeah, I hope this video is helpful. This is just solely my opinion. Everybody parents differently, every family is different, and every child is different. So some of these tips might not work for you, but it's just something that I've learnt along the way. So I have taken my little boy Albie to Disneyland Paris 3 times so far, which I'm so lucky that I get to be able to share the magic with him. And I'm just really grateful that I have an annual pass so that I'm able to take him as often as I can. So the first time I took Albie to Disneyland Paris was in May 2022, and he was a year and 10 months, and I can just about remember how tall he was. So he was 81 centimetres, and I'll explain why I've said the height further on in the in this video. And then the second time I took Albie was in August 2022, and he hadn't long turned 2, so he was 2 years old that trip. And then the last trip that I've just been on was in January 2023, and he was 2.5. So the first 2 trips, myself and Albie went with other family members, and then on my recent trip in January I just took Albie solo, which is a whole nother video in itself. But yeah, I've also vlogged our trips as well. So I've got the May trip, the August trip, and I'm just finishing off putting up the January trip. So I think by the time this video has uploaded, our January trip will be up. So yeah, go and check that out, and yeah, I hope you enjoy watching. And I try to be as honest as possible in my videos, and I hope that comes across as well, because it's the most magical place on earth. But when you've got a toddler and they're overwhelmed, they're overstimulated, they're tired, they're hungry, it can be a little bit different sometimes to what you expect it to be. So yeah, go and check them out, and yeah, hope you enjoy watching those. Okay, so let's just start with some toddler tips. So in regards to the rides, I'll start speaking about the rides first. So with regards to the rides, Albie on our first trip was 81 centimetres, which meant there was a couple of rides where you had to be 80 centimetres and above. So the first one was in Walt Disney Studios, and that's the Toy Story parachute drop. So you have to be 80 centimeters to ride that. And then you can still ride this. So you can ride Autopia, which is in Discoveryland in Disneyland Park. And any age can go on the cars. So it's like a driving one if you're brand new to Disneyland Paris. So it's a driving one. So if your child is under 81 centimeters, they have to go in the passenger seat, and then you have to drive and pedal. But on our trips, Albie could drive, but obviously he can't reach the pedal, so I just push the pedal. So they're the only two rides that have that sort of height around the 80 centimeters mark. And then it's absolutely amazing. I absolutely love Disneyland Paris because there's so many rides that toddlers can go on. And from this video, I'm not going to say, I'm just going to say from this video, because there might be new rides and different rides that come up in the upcoming years. So this video will be a bit dated, but I'll hopefully be able to update it as the years go on. But yeah, so I worked out that there was 29 rides, and that's in Disneyland Park and in Walt Disney Studios. There's only 8 rides that Albie can't go on. So the 8 rides, I'll just get them up. So the 8 rides, so I'll start with Disneyland Park. So there is Star Wars Space Mountain in Discoveryland. You've got Star Tours in Discoveryland. You've got Big Thunder Mountain in Frontierland, and Indiana Jones in Adventureland. So they're the only rides that Albie can't go on. I think you have to be at least 1 meter to ride a couple of them. So he's still got a bit of a way yet to be able to ride those rides. I think he's about 92 centimeters. So yeah, a little bit of a way to go yet. And then in Walt Disney Studios, you've got Crush's Coaster, which I'm so glad he can't go on at the moment because the queues are a nightmare. I can just imagine when he gets that height, and every trip we're going to be racing to try and get on that ride in the magic hours because it's so popular. I think I've been on it once before. That was on my solo trip. It was a great ride, but yeah, that'll be interesting when he gets a bit older. And then obviously you've got Tower of Terror and RC Racer in the Toy Story Land, and then in the new Avengers Campus you've got Flight Force. So yeah, they're the only rides that Albie can't go on. So it's absolutely amazing how many rides that toddlers can actually go on, and it actually feels like you're in like a proper theme park, and you know, they're experiencing it all just as much as we are. I will say though that the first trip wasn't too bad, but the second trip was probably the worst trip, where he was quite frightened on certain rides. So the rides that he was most scared on was in Fantasyland, Snow White and Pinocchio. He was a little bit on Peter Pan when we went before. It just depends on your child, but yeah, he was, I think it's because like it's in the dark, and then also Pirates of the Caribbean as well. So yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. I think it's mainly because they're like dark rides. Last time we went in January, he didn't want to go on Snow White and Pinocchio. And also I haven't even attempted Phantom Manor. He might be absolutely fine on it, but yeah, it's just something that I haven't done, just because he does get a little bit scared on those rides. So yeah, I hope that was helpful with the rides. I don't think there's anything else to mention on those. think that's everything about the rides. And if anybody has toddlers and has any more tips, yeah, it'd be great to hear what everybody else does, and if I've missed anything else out in this video, just comment below. And it's just so nice that this community comes together and just helps, and yeah, it's just so helpful for people who have never been before. And I hope this video helps, just even if it's just one person, then that's amazing. Okay, what else should we talk about? So because I have an annual pass, I don't have to stay on site, so I tend to try and pick hotels that have a kitchen, just because it's really handy to store lots of snacks if you're coming back to the hotel in the evening. You can get things for dinner and have things there for dinner. So they're just, sometimes when you're in a Disney park, the snacks are amazing, the food is amazing, but it's not the healthiest. So sometimes it's nice to just see them eat something a little bit healthier. It just makes you feel better, doesn't it, when you see them eating a bit of fruit or yeah. So I tend to try and find hotels that have kitchens. I've stayed at the Adagio Ceres Hotel. We stayed there on our last trip, and they had like a full-on kitchenette. They had a fridge, they had some hobs, what else did they have? Microwave. So we so with our trips, we've only ever travelled by Eurotunnel, so I can't comment on other ways to travel to Disneyland Paris, but I just think the Eurotunnel, it's a long way, especially if you're not sharing the drive-in, but it is so handy. You can pack as much as you like, you can take lots of toys with you can take lots of snacks with you. There's a Lidl just as you come off of the Eurotunnel, so you can pick up extra bits and pieces from there. I just love that you can literally just leave your house and you're just on your way. The only negative about it is a little bit of a way, and it can be quite draining driving on your own. But yeah, that's just the way it works for us. We're only 2.5 hours from the Eurotunnel, so if you live up north and further up the country, it probably is easier to go by plane. But yeah, we just love that we can just get in the car and yeah, take as many snacks as we like. If you're staying on site, I can't quite remember what they provide, but I'm pretty sure the hotels, the Disney hotels, don't provide kettles anymore. I've only stayed in the Santa Fe Hotel last January, and I'm pretty sure they didn't have a kettle from what I can remember. But I do have a room tour on my channel, so yeah, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it didn't. What else is there? Said about the Eurotunnel, packing lots of snacks. It's also good, you could use this on the plane as well, and buying a couple of new toys, you know, from something from Home Bargains or B&M, doesn't have to be expensive, and just wrapping it up for them in wrapping paper, just so that it's a little bit of an extra special treat, and then that yeah, they can keep occupied with that. I think I purchased a Pop-It for Albie last time we went, and he played with that for ages in the car. Last time he got a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse for Christmas. Obviously you can't fit, it's quite big, so it wouldn't be able to take it in the plane. I just popped that in the car, and when we were chilling in the hotel, he just played with that rather than being on the phone or the iPad the whole time. But yeah, going on to the iPads and the phones. So everybody's different with how much their children use and watch the phones and the iPads. And I would say we watch a little bit of TV here, and he doesn't really go on the phone or iPad. But yeah, we do watch a bit of TV. But when we're away, I've always been, you know, like when you're when you're not a parent and you see children with phones in a restaurant, at the dinner table, I used to be like, which probably most of us do, like, I would never let my child do that. And yeah, sometimes I think, no, he needs to, you know, he needs to eat with us, he needs to join in with us, interact, communicate with us. But when you're on holiday, it is different. You know, they're absolutely exhausted, you're exhausted, you want that little break, you want that little bit of quietness, you want to enjoy your meal that you've paid for. So yeah, on our trips we do get the phone and iPad out a lot more than what we would at home. One of the times, I can't think of which time it was, which trip, one of the trips it was really hard having a meal with Albie. He just wanted to get out of the high chair, he just, yeah, wasn't interested at all. So I made sure my last trip that we didn't do sit down meals, we just did quick service. But if it's your first trip and you know that you're not going to get to go back very soon, it is hard because you want to do those special restaurants, and there are some really lovely restaurants. But I think with a toddler, it's just, you can't really enjoy it as much as you want to, and I remember just rushing, not really eating, not really enjoying it. I did get the phone out for him a few times. So yeah, I can understand, like, if it's your, you know, a once in a lifetime trip, you're gonna want to go to the restaurants, and they're amazing. You know, everybody understands, but when you're there and, you know, they're having a meltdown, you do feel like everybody's looking at you, and it isn't nice. So yeah, I maybe just think about not booking too many, and then the quick service, you just go in, eat quickly, and then go, so it's not too bad. A lot of the restaurants as well I'm pretty sure don't allow prams in, because we had a reservation at Downtown Restaurant, and Albie wasn't in a great mood. He wanted to be in his pram, but because of safety they said you had to park the pram outside. So yeah, that was just a little bit stressful, getting Albie out the pram. I think that meal, I just thought, do you know what, you can have the phone. And yeah, I did enjoy that one a little bit more. So yeah, just keep in mind with the restaurants, and yeah, and hopefully you'll be able to sit down and enjoy a meal. What else is there? I hope this is helpful. I don't really know what I'm saying, to be honest. Every trip has been hard for different reasons. So the first trip, Albie didn't want to be in the pram, but also didn't want to, if he was walking, he would just want to run everywhere. He's a little bit better now. Yeah, he's a little bit better now at, you know, holding hands and not going off too far. But when the first time he went, it was, yeah, he didn't want to go in his pram, but he wanted to run away everywhere. So I'd say that was the hardest part of the first trip. And then the second trip, I think it's just like different, like his different ages. The different ages are just different challenges. The second trip, I'd say, was him being really scared of a lot of stuff. He's fine with the characters, it's just some of the rides he was quite scared of. And then the third trip, when I took him on my own, the meltdowns were crazy. It really makes you feel like you're on your own, as people just don't really talk about it. And yeah, some of the meltdowns he had, if you follow me on Instagram, I was honest on there, shared my experience. I think I even had a little cry on my stories. It was so hard, and I'm hoping, it's just his age, he's 2.5. I'm hoping the more he can communicate and, you know, understand his feelings. It's so overwhelming for them, isn't it? That, you know, they're just learning how to express themselves. And but yeah, so that was the hardest for that trip. So yeah, 3 different trips, only a few months apart, but so different, and different development stages as well. So yeah, it's really interesting to see. But obviously looking back, and the moments that you make and the memories that you make it all worth it, as much as it's so difficult. Yeah, it just makes it worth it. Okay, I said about the Lidl, didn't I, right next to the Eurotunnel, if you're going by Eurotunnel. When we first went, Albie has a really good routine. He likes routine, like most children. I think he was just coming out of afternoon naps. He stopped his naps quite early, which I miss so much. But yeah, I think he'd already come out of his afternoon naps the first time we went. But yeah, I was a little bit nervous about going out of routine. He did have naps when he wanted to. They were obviously scattered at different times of the day. Sometimes it would be like 11 AM, sometimes it would be like 5 PM. But because of the fireworks and you know, staying out later and being more tired, it was fine. And he slept at night even if he had a late nap. But yeah, he really surprised me with going out of routine. So yeah, try not to be too nervous about that. If you've got a strict routine at home and yeah, you feel like it's gonna all go crazy when you get there, they cope so well. And yeah, try not to worry too much, as easy as it sounds. Oh yeah, and Albie never used to nap in his prams, but at Disney he did nap. He did nap in his pram. And yeah, I just put, even though you're at Disney, be prepared for tantrums. I think when you go on holiday, you have this perfect picture of how you want it to be, and sometimes you just can't control it. My past Disney trips without any children have been so full on. So it's been hard for me to be able to just step back. I stress a lot as well. I put pressure on myself that we must do everything. And I think as long as you go, and this trip, I had a really good idea for myself that worked for me. Is I set 3 goals for the trip, and then anything else is a bonus. Again, if it is your once in a lifetime trip, it is hard because you want to get as much as you can done. But if you go thinking that, you know, you're not going to get it all done, you're going to get as much as you can done. You're going to pick your favourite characters you want to meet, your favourite rides, your favourite restaurants or food. Just pick a few, and then whatever extra you do is a bonus. So yeah, that really helped me this trip. And we didn't stay out from magic hours to close like I used to do. It's just not possible. If they're not happy, if they're tired, then you can't be selfish as much as you want to be. As much as I wanted to be, I was just like, I want to stay, I want to get up early, I want to do it. You just physically can't. So as long as you go with that in your mind, I think yeah, you'll have a great time. And if one night they're too tired to watch the fireworks, then yeah, that's absolutely fine. I think in winter months it's actually better because the fireworks are earlier. When we went in January, they were 8 PM, but in the summer it was like 11 PM, and it was such a long day and such a long night. So yeah, that's the only good thing about winter, is the fireworks earlier, but it was freezing cold. So yeah, when Albie was in nappies, so he's recently been having potty training, yeah. So we used to, I say we because I went with other family members. We found it easier, obviously this isn't for everybody, we found it easier to find like a quiet area. There's lots of like side little bits where you can go to change him in his pram. So I just put the pram flat and just, yeah, quickly change him, and that was so much easier than finding like a toilet. You know, the queues are long, there's lots of children waiting to be changed on the changing station. There's only like one or two, some toilets, I'm pretty sure there should be one in every toilet, but there might not be. So yeah, we just found that much easier just to do it in his pram, you know, put a blanket or something over him, so yeah, he's covered up. But yeah, that's what I did, and that, yeah, that was so much easier to just do that. What else is there? About the restaurants and quick service. So if your child is under 3, you don't have to pay for them to eat, which is amazing because as a toddler, my toddler, my Albie, doesn't really eat anything. So if you're, and I think when he turns 3 and I have to start paying for him, is going to be annoying because he doesn't really eat anything, and I don't think he'll eat much when he's 3. So I do think that they should make that a little bit older, maybe 4 or 5, because yeah, even a child's meal, they don't really eat it, do they? Have a couple of mouthfuls and then, so yeah, just if you're going with an under 3-year-old, just enjoy not having to pay for them. But I always just get a little plate for Albie so they can still eat. They're not saying, oh, if you're under 3 you gotta starve them. They can still eat. You can just like get a little plate for them, or they can just feed off of your plate and just give them a little bit of food for them, especially at the buffet restaurants. Yeah, this is a really good one that I've picked up. So with your travelling, obviously depending how much, you know, your budget and how much time off you can get from work or anything, I really, really recommend you do a travel day, just solely a travel day, so you don't travel into the park that day. We've done 3 days and we've done 5 days. I would recommend, if it's sort of your big trip, I would at least minimum do 5 days. 3 days just is not enough to do everything. So I would say do a travel day, do 5 days, and then a travel home day. Obviously, if you're pushing it for time, you could do a travel day, 3 days in the park, and then a travel home day. Because the first trip, I think we did a travel day and then the park all in one day. And yeah, it's just too much for everybody. So yeah, I really recommend that. Yeah, using travel day just as a travel day. You can maybe get a later flight, a later Eurotunnel, so you're not getting up as early, although the night before a trip you don't really sleep anyway, do you? Sometimes you just want to get up and just go. So yeah, I really recommend that. And as the park's getting bigger with the Avengers Campus, it really is hard to get everything done in 3 days. If you can, I would try and go for 5, and then yeah, hopefully you can tick off lots off of your list. With my annual pass, and you can just purchase this extra onto your tickets if you're staying, you know, as your package. There is really mixed reviews on the photo pass. I think the photo pass is brilliant for Mickey Mouse. The pictures I got on my phone compared to what they got with the photographers. Just went off. I think I've been talking for too long. So yeah, the pictures on my phone compared to the photo pass photographers was completely different, the quality of the PhotoPass pictures, and I would have never have captured that on my phone. So yeah, if you really want to see Mickey Mouse, and he's my favourite, and Albie, I have to get Albie to meet him every time, yeah, I recommend the PhotoPass just for that really. And then there was a couple of 30th anniversary special photo areas which were really good. We got like one holding a balloon, blowing like kisses with all like the confetti. So yeah, we wouldn't have been able to have those pictures if it wasn't for the PhotoPass. And then obviously you get some on-ride photos. Not every ride has a camera. They're not the best. Some of them aren't the best quality, but yeah, in my opinion, I would definitely recommend the PhotoPass. I think we're almost there. Yeah, just with the queuing as well. Again, you'll be surprised how well they do. You can just, I think we queued for Olaf. We didn't realise it was like 2 hours, so I just got my purse out. He played with some money, some coins. Obviously, be careful, like you have to keep an eye on them. Little toys, and sometimes it's really nice because obviously there's other children in the queue, they're bored, and sometimes they like play together in the queue, which is really nice, and it saves you having to do that with them. And yeah, and just in the queues, getting the phone out, getting the iPad out. And I think every parent understands when you're there, you know, how difficult it is, and you know, you worry that you're going to be judged, but yeah, you've just got to do what you feel's right for you. And shows as well. Albie loves the shows. What shows have we watched? Mickey and the Magician, the Stitch Live, we've seen the Dream Factory Junior show. Yeah, the shows are really good, and they're not too long as well, so if your little one doesn't really like sitting for very long, yeah, I think it will be fine. And just with the lights, and sometimes there's bubbles, so yeah, it's just lovely for them. And I've never had to, you know, leave early because Albie's had enough or anything like that. So, but that's just Albie. Yeah, but he does really well with the shows. So if you're worrying about that, I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. I think that might be everything. I'm trying to just go through. Yeah, that's everything off of my list. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. With potty training, it was quite difficult. He'd only started potty training for about a month. I have a travel potty. He kept sort of playing on it in the queues. Sometimes it was hard to know if he was just saying it so that he could, you know, not have to queue, or if he did generally want the toilet. So yeah, that was really hard. I think we had a couple of accidents while we were there, but overall he did absolutely amazing. Yeah, so I think it'll be fine. And I was so worried about him, you know, him having an accident, but what's the worst thing that would happen? You have to change his clothes. Like, you have to change their clothes. That's all that will happen. So yeah, I know it's so easy to just say, just try and relax, because I definitely can't relax and I stress. But I really hope this video is helpful. I have no idea how it's turned out. We are so lucky to be going to Walt Disney World this summer. So I'm hoping to vlog the whole trip. We're going for 3 weeks. We're doing 2 weeks in Disney and a week in Universal, Busch Gardens and SeaWorld. So it's going to be a crazy, magical trip. But yeah, hopefully be able to vlog that. And after that I will do another toddler tips if I eventually get round to doing it on Walt Disney World. There's Also, I've seen like snack boxes. You can get them like personalised. You can do like Albie's Disney snacks. There's quite a few on Etsy. Somebody I follow on Instagram, Enchanted Mice, they sell them. So I'm definitely going to be ordering those for Walt Disney World for Albie. So you just got a little like, it's like a big box and then like little containers. So you can put like loads of different snacks in and keep them like all together. So yeah, I'll definitely be ordering that. We'll hopefully be Disney bounding, so yeah, I just need to sort out all of our outfits. But yeah, I hope this video is helpful, and if you are a parent yourself and I've missed out any tips, please write them down below. And if you found this video helpful, then yeah, comment below and let's talk about how crazy it is having a toddler and going to Disney with a toddler. And yeah, subscribe for future Disney trips and Disney tips. And I'm also on Instagram as well as Disney Mum Magic, where we share all our pictures and our memories of our Disney trips. But yeah, I hope you found that helpful. It's been lovely to finally get to do this video, and I will speak to you all soon on our next adventure.